Okay, I am going to do my video on the Chapter 8 Critical Thinking Questions about Human Development. Question 1 says, evaluate Erikson's stages of psychosocial development, explaining what aspects of his theory seem most convincing. Okay, so there's 8 stages of Erikson's psychosocial development, but I'm only going to go over the ones that stood out to me most. But each of them seem to have a progression of human personality. The first behavior, which is trust versus mistrust, jumped out to me because I immediately thought about parenting. When children are neglected or abused in infancy, this can lead to many behavioral problems later in life. If a child successfully develops trust, they will feel safe and secure in the world. But on the other hand, they can feel insecure or mistrusting because infants are so dependent, so I feel like this stage is really crucial. Next would be the third stage, which is initiative versus guilt, and I believe that this is very important for children because during these preschool years, they begin to assert their power through social interactions and play. This seems to be a really critical time for people to feel capable, and being able to lead others is really important, or alternatively, they could have a lack of initiative. Adolescence is also a very tumultuous time for many people, and stage 5, which is identity versus confusion, really describes well how children explore their independence and develop a sense of self during this time. Being insecure as an adult can result from the remaining unsureness of beliefs and desires during this adolescent stage. Lastly, the final stage, integrity versus despair, that occurs during old age, focuses on reflecting back on life. And this stage seems really crucial because if unsuccessful, people may feel that their life has been wasted and will experience many regrets. His description about either feeling despair or being proud of one's life really gives meaningful perspective. And it seems overall that the crucial stages during adulthood really shape one's personality. Okay, so the second question, using Baumritt's categories, classify the parenting style your mother and or father used in rearing you, and first cite examples of techniques they used that support your classification. Without a doubt, the parenting style my mom and dad implemented was definitely authoritative. Sorry. My mom and dad always told me to shoot for the moon, and they always set high goals for me, and they've always really believed in my capabilities. They were warm and giving, and now as an adult, I really feel independent, competent, and responsible. Responsibility was a big thing that they taught me. They told me I take consequences for my own actions, and just something that came to mind to me was when, if I would get really good grades in school, my parents wouldn't just shower me. They would praise me, but they would say, listen, this is really going to help you in the future. And also just taking responsibility for my actions, I think, is a big thing that helped shape who I am today. So I have to thank my parents. They did a pretty good job, I think. The second part is, do I agree with Baumritt's conclusions about the effects of that on parenting style children? Yeah, I would have to say 100%. I strongly agree with the effects of parenting. Being too permissive or too strict can lead to children to be unhappy, or on the flip side, be impulsive. I know parents who would just let their children do whatever they want. They, wouldn't set many boundaries, and giving a child too much freedom without giving them, structure and praise can really be debilitating for them in the future, in my opinion. Okay, and the last part would be thinking back to junior high school and high school. To what degree do I think later early maturation seems to affect how boys and girls were treated by peers, parents, and teachers? Did earlier late maturation affect their adjustment? Well, I believe that early maturation could be seen by adults and teachers as being more mentally mature, which in fact might not be the case, meaning that they might be given privilege, more responsibility, even something that they might not be able to handle. And on the flip side, if you mature at an earlier rate, you might be seen as less like mentally mature as well. Um, Also, people who mature at a really young age or a really late age can feel pretty self-conscious with their peers. So I think that's also something that can affect how people view themselves in the future as an adulthood. Okay, so that concludes my Section 5 critical thinking questions for Chapter 8. Thank you.